Are you stuck at home and you don't know what to do now? You've watched 4 hours of Netflix and you really don't know what to do next. You've smashed through that game you bought for Xbox and you're now like, what do I do now? Hi guys, it's JT here and I want to share with you 3 tips on how you can maintain your sanity whilst on lockdown. Right, so as you guys all know, you know what's happening in the world right now. It is insane. No one really expected this to happen. I'm from the UK. In the UK, we're on this informal lockdown where pretty much everything apart from essentials is closed. And, well, there's nothing else really to do. Yes, you can go out for walks and things like that, but what more can you do? Right? So basically, you're stuck at home. You have to exercise at home. Gyms are closed. Bars are closed. Restaurants are closed. Social gatherings are closed. So like concerts, festivals, all those kind of things. You're now stuck at home. There's only so much Netflix that you can watch. I know there's only so much Netflix I can watch. There's only so much video games you can play. There's only so many books you can read, and there's so many podcasts you can listen to before the knowledge gets too much, and it's like there's only so much you can absorb, right? So I want to share with you 3 tips on how you can, well, maintain your sanity really, and how you can keep going, keep the hope positive, keep it going, keep your hope high, keep positivity high in a tough time like this. So a bit about why I'm sharing this information. So a good few years ago now, I was put on something called gardening leave, right? So if you watch my videos before or you've read any of my blogs, you'll know that I'm from a construction background. And in construction, if you're based on a project, but that project for whatever reason is delayed. So in this scenario, it was a project where it just hadn't really kicked off yet. The client and the contractor, so the person I was working for, was still kind of just agreeing the final terms of the contract essentially. But what that meant was that I was based on that project but didn't really have anywhere to start. So I was based at home for around a month and a half to 2 months. Can't remember exactly how many weeks it was, but I think it was around a month and a half to 2 months. And what that meant was that I was at home. There wasn't really anything to do. There was no projects, space stuff to do. It may be one thing a week, like one task a week. Like, that's nothing, right? I usually smashed it out in less than an hour, and then I'm like, okay, what do I do next? So I had to find a way to essentially maintain my sanity. As I said, there's only, back then Netflix wasn't really huge. I didn't really have a lot of money, so I wasn't really paying for Netflix, but YouTube, video games, there's only so much that you can play. Yeah, I went out and played sport, went out with my friends, but again, there's only so much you can do with that. So what were the 3 things? The first thing is expanding your mind. So this is where you can really get to a point where you think, okay, if I'm just going to sit here, watch TV, watch Netflix, play video games, whatever it may be, I'm not expanding my mind. I'm narrowing, if not, I'm closing off my mind to what else is out there. So by expanding your mind, I'm talking about really challenging what you do as a norm. So this could be challenging your beliefs. So if you believe something very strongly, perhaps watch some different types of documentaries, read a different book that could potentially challenge your way of thinking, challenge your beliefs, talk to someone different. Like, say for example, if you don't believe what I believe, maybe drop a comment and we can have a conversation about actually what is the difference between our beliefs and why. This way you can start to learn new things and expand your mind. Number 2 is really self-investment. Now this is something I learned probably more recently rather than earlier in my career, where self-investment is such a powerful tool, and there's so many things now online. Now, okay, so there's a lot of gurus, but I'm talking about going to people you can actually trust, right? People who are sharing you tools and knowledge and information which has actually got backing and is valuable. But what does self-investment actually mean? Now, we all generally understand what investment in terms of money situation is. So investing in stocks, investing in housing, property, that kind of stuff. But what does investing in you mean? That means using money also to grow your mind, increase your knowledge, right? All these things are called self-investment. So webinars, buying and reading a new book. For example, if you want to, on Amazon, my book here, Managers Are Not Leaders, right? It doesn't cost a lot, by the way. And now you're not going to be drinking in pubs. You could probably afford that. So it's that type of self-investment, right? It's taking that money. So it could be 20, 30, 40 pounds. Some of these courses range up to like 500, 600, 700 pounds. I've been on ones 600 pounds, 1500 pounds. This money is investing in myself. I looked at it and said, okay, so why, instead of me spending this money just on going out and drinking and clothes, actually let me take my thinking, my beliefs to the next level so that I can start to challenge myself and grow my mind. And the third way, and this is so important, even more now with what's going on in today's world, this is daily gratitude, right? So I'll tell you a little about what I mean, what gratitude means to me. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you're meditating for 20, 30 minutes a day. No, because that might not be for you, that might not be for everybody. And it's actually is not for me, right? That only works for some people. For me, gratitude is that I wake up every morning and I close my eyes. You don't have to close your eyes, you can, but it helps me visualize, right? Because visualizing and really putting myself in that position. And then I think of three things that I'm really grateful for. And I try and imagine those things, right? So for example, it could be my home. I'm really grateful for my home. I imagine my home, the four walls, the roof, it's dry, I have hot water, the food that I'm able to eat, right? I know everything's going on in the supermarkets right now where people are struggling to even get food because some people are stockpiling. On a side note, I think that's absolutely ridiculous, by the way. We're all in this together, and stockpiling, you should not be doing it. Just buy and shop as normal and we will all get through this. Okay, and then going back to gratitude, right? So if now I'm thinking about the food, I imagine and visualize perhaps the last meal that I cooked and ate the night before, what it tasted like. And then maybe like the third thing, for example, it's my marriage to my wife, and I visualize our relationship and what I love about our relationship. That can really help you keep a positive mind and essentially keep hope, because that's essentially what humans do. That is what we do. We are hopeful in tough situations, and that's how we push forward. We always do this together. There might be a few selfish people out there that take it upon themselves, but again, that's always a minority. Generally, people come together in tough times. That is, as history dictates and history shows, what humans do. We keep hope high, we stick together, and we move forward. Hey, and so if you've liked anything on this video and it's brought you any kind of value, I would love it if you could click subscribe. It really helps me share and continue to share this message, right? I really encourage you to go on and try these three things. So expand your mind, self-investment, and then gratitude. Thank you very much for listening. This is JT signing out.